vast and mysterious place covering more than 70% of the Earth's surface. But did you know that the ocean is divided into different layers with its own unique environment and creatures? These layers go from shallow waters near the surface where sunlight reaches all the way down to the dark, deep ocean floor where very little light can penetrate. In today's lesson, we are going to be exploring different layers of the ocean and discover what makes each one special. From the bright sunlight zone to the pitch black trenches, we'll learn about the animals, plants, and features that live in each part of the ocean. The sunlight zone is the top layer of the ocean where sunlight can easily reach. This layer goes down about 200 meters or 656 feet deep. Because the sunlight can penetrate this layer, it's full of life. Plants like seaweed, animals like fish, and dolphins and turtles live here. This is also the layer where most of the ocean's food chain starts because plants can make their own food using sunlight. Let's create our own version of the sunlight zone and fill it with colorful sea creatures. Alright, what you're gonna need is some blue construction paper, some paper cutouts or drawings of sea animals or seaweed. Today I have stickers, but you can draw your own. You're also going to need some glue and some stuff to draw with. I have markers today. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take my glue and I'm gonna put just a little glue on my paper, and then I'll take this fish and I'm gonna glue it right there. And then maybe right here. And then I'll take some markers and I'll draw some seaweed on here. And I am happy with it. The sunlight zone is the most active part of the ocean. It's full of life because of the sunlight. Plants can photosynthesize, big word, and many sea animals live here due to the rich food sources. Below the sunlight zone is the twilight zone, which extends from 200 to 1,000 meters, 656 to 3,280 feet deep. There's a little light here, so it's much darker and colder. Animals live in this zone, like lanternfish and squid, have special adaptations such as large eyes to see in the dim light, or they produce their own light through bioluminescence. Let's explore how animals use bioluminescence to survive the twilight zone. Come here! So what we're going to start with is some black construction paper, and you're also going to need some glow-in-the-dark paint and a paintbrush. So what you're going to do is you are going to grab your glow-in-the-dark paint, and you are going to take your paintbrush. I'm just dipping right in the jar, and I will paint a little jellyfish on my piece of paper. Alright, so in the twilight zone, animals use bioluminescence. This means that they create their own light to attract prey or communicate with other animals. Let's turn off the light and see what it looks like in the dark. You can see it glowing! Alright, that looks awesome! The midnight zone starts at 1,000 meters and goes down to 4,000 meters, or 3,280 to 13,123 feet. It is completely dark here. No sunlight reaches this part of the ocean. The pressure is very high and the temperature is near freezing. Even though it's dark and cold, strange and fascinating creatures live here, such as anglerfish and giant squid. Let's create a visual representation of the midnight zone and its unique creatures. Alright, for this next activity, you're gonna need black or dark blue construction paper. I'm using dark blue. And we are going to need a marker to draw on our sea creatures. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we are going to take our piece of paper and we are going to draw some deep sea animals. So I'm gonna do a little anglerfish. Alright, I think this looks pretty cool. If you have one, you can add a little light like I have. Out a little tab, see it's glowing, and then I'm gonna put it on my little anglerfish. That looks so cool! For this next activity, you're going to need a shoebox or just a little box that you can find. You're gonna need some black construction paper, scissors, glue, some little ocean animals like sea cucumbers, or you can use some stickers. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I am going to trim my paper a little bit just so it fits in my box. All right, so I cut my paper. I'm going to take some glue and I am going to put glue on the bottom of the box. And then I'm also going to be putting it on the lid of my box right here so you can see. Just a little bit. All right, now I'm gonna take my piece of paper. I'm just gonna put it in the box. I'm also gonna take this sea cucumber and I'm gonna put it here, but I am going to add a little jellyfish sticker. Now, another thing I'm going to add is a question mark because we don't know everything that lives down here. The abyss is one of the deepest and darkest parts of the ocean where animals must survive extreme pressure and cold. I made mine really, really simple, but if you want to add more details to yours, check out something like this. The trenches are the deepest part of the ocean, starting at 6,000 meters, 19,685 feet, and going even deeper down to 11,000 meters, 36,089 feet in some places. And the Mariana Trench is the deepest part of the world's oceans. In these trenches, pressure is intense and it is pitch black. Very few animals live out here, but creatures like amphipods and snailfish are adapted to survive the extreme conditions. Let's simulate the deep ocean trench using different layers of water. For this next activity, I have a clear cup, I have corn syrup, and I have water. I dyed my water blue, but you don't have to. I also have some ocean animals. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my corn syrup and I'm gonna add some at the bottom of my glass. And now I'm slowly going to add my water in. You wanna be really, really careful when doing this. Add a little bit of water. All right, and now we're going to drop our ocean animals in. All right, see how he didn't go through all of the corn syrup? All right, now let's add a little fish. Let's add another little fish. The trenches are the deepest, most extreme parts of the ocean, where only a few creatures can survive the crushing pressure and cold temperatures. This activity is demonstrating those layers from top to bottom. The ocean is full of wonders, from the sunlight-filled waters of the surface to the dark and mysterious depths of the trenches. Each layer of the ocean has its own unique environment and creatures, adapted to the conditions of light, temperature, and pressure. By exploring these layers, we've learned about the amazing life that exists in every part of the ocean. Now, when we think about the ocean, we'll remember that it is much more than what we see on the surface. It's a world of adventure and discovery waiting to be explored.